Here I am, my expansion tank. It went bad. It had been on here for many years. I think they good for about 8 years. Check with your manufacturer. But mine went bad. It's a little diaphragm up in here. And it went bad, and you can usually tell because you might have some water leakage. It'll be some black or brown material. The old one look pretty bad, and then when you do get it off, it probably have brown water in it or something like that to let you know it's pretty bad. But anyway, I already took it off. Just shut the water off, drain down the tank some. I'm not encouraging you to do this. I have a universal license in this, so you need to have some kind of qualifications to work on a water heater or anything that has to do with heating and air or HVAC or plumbing. So what we want to do, a lot of these are cold now, and most villages now require that you add this on. And what it does is it takes, once the water in your water heater heats up, it takes the pressure, the excess pressure, because when water heats up, it expands, and if you don't have nowhere to go, because villages have a check valve in the system now, it used to go back into the system or backflow into the system somewhere because it's a closed loop system. So with the check valve in your main supply, it usually goes back somewhere else in your system. So if you don't have this tank, it'll go to the weakest pipe, or it'll find an area, and it could cause leaks inside your walls or your ceilings or whatever. So what this tank does is allow room for that expansion, so that pressure, that extra pressure, won't be on your system. So what we're gonna do is put this back on. We already put some Teflon tape on the threads, and we put a little light coated pipe door on here. So now what we're gonna do is screw this down, and then we'll be back in business, and we can turn the water back on. But make sure you turn the heat off or the burners off, or turn, if your furnace have the valve on it, you can put it on vacation, or you can put it on zero. Make sure you drain this down. We drain this down. We drain it all the way down, not empty the tank, but we drain it down enough where it don't have any pressure on it. I usually let it sit for a minute so it can cool off after I shut the water and things off and drain it down some. And you'll usually be able to tell, because if I touch that pipe, once I drain it and it's still hot, you might want to see that as a precautionary measure, not take that tank off yet. So you want to keep draining just a little water, and let the tank cool off, and then come back and deal with your tank later. So let me go and put this on so I can get my water back on. The family can do their thing for the morning. So here we go. So I'm just gonna screw this back in this pipe right here. It's pretty easy. You screw that in, see? It's going right down in there. And it's pretty much threaded. And once I get it down far enough, then we're gonna put our tools on here and get it nice and tight. You gotta do nothing too crazy. It's a pretty simple process. Let's get a pipe wrench on here. And this is to hold the bottom line so you won't put no pressure on that line. I'll just take my wrench and step over here. And I'm gonna get that tank down as tight as I can get it. That seems to be pretty tight, and for those of you that's been to the gym, don't go crazy with it because you'll break your pipe and a lot of it is sweated in. Then when you turn that water back on, it'll leak. So that's pretty much it. My expansion tape. Now sometimes you'll find these brackets on it because this thing can get a little heavy. Let's get that off so we don't think it's anything bad. And you make sure it's not rubbing on the pipe or anything where you need a little space in there. I normally put a little space in here. I got it around here somewhere. Keep that off of that pipe. And we just double up on that. So the last tank, what I'm gonna do is turn my water and things back on. Let me go make sure the hot water, I like to leave the hot water open. I don't like to have air in the line when I put these burners in this hot water back on. So that's pretty much it. Like I said, I got a universal license in HVAC, so this is not just something that you do. I'm just giving you some idea what's going on. A lot of times, like I said, you'll see these leaking brown, or you'll see a little hole because somewhere around this diaphragm seam, you'll get a little hole, and you can usually find it because it'll be squeaking out from the pressure, and you'll see it leaking out all over the place. Come down here in your water. Sometimes you see little signs before this expansion tank go bad, because this valve might open up occasionally from that extra pressure and release down to the floor. So sometimes it's just released because it's pressurized, and you just want to make sure. Or you might have a small leak that you don't see. So if you see any signs of water and you know this is not releasing, then you might want to look at it and see and make sure your tank is not bad. But eventually it's going to spring a hole and you'll be able to see, because it'll be a nice little gush of water coming out, and it'll be consistent. So anyway, that's it. I'm Dan Land Pro. We're at MasterDanYouTube.com. Make sure you subscribe. This is our home improvement playlist. Till next time, peace.